Is this live? Hi guys. I actually have no way of knowing if this is live yet, but I'm just gonna go with it because this is my first time. I'm trying to stream on StreamYard. So if there are any people there, let me just check on. Oh, okay, I see comments. Oh, comments on YouTube. Hi. Did not expect that, but okay. Anyways, we're just gonna start. Hi guys, my name is Thea, aka Professor B, and today is. Oh, you can't hear. Hello, hello, hello. Is there? Hello. Can anyone else confirm whether or not you can hear? Hear me? YouTube sound is on. We can hear you. Okay. Okay, most people can hear me. So sorry in advance if there is any technical difficulties. This is our first time, but we'll try to do better next time. But yeah, had this idea of documenting a 100-hour process of studying about Bitcoin. So this is going to be more like a study with me. I'm not going to be teaching you anything. This is not a Professor B class. This is you guys teach me things about Bitcoin, or we're going to watch videos together of stuff about Bitcoin. So, oh, is this the stage? I will be sharing my screen. Maybe I'll just do this. I'll be sharing my screen of either different topics that we will learn. So someone asked me yesterday, okay, what are we going to learn about today? We're just going to read the white paper. I was like, no, I think we should think. So I watched this video, like a Michael Saylor interview recently, and he was talking about the importance of understanding what happens to a country and to a culture when there's a debasement, right, of their currency. So I was like, actually, I haven't studied that. Like I understand, like I've heard about like Venezuela and all that, but like I kind of want to really dig into that. So I didn't plan the class, guys, so this is not like a pre-planned class or anything. We're just gonna go to YouTube. Wait, let me try to find a video. And also, if anyone has any resources about currency debasement or any case studies you want to show me, please send me a link. You can send me a DM as well, and then I will have a look. So let's see. Just right. So also, should I have like background music? Because without background music, I feel the need to constantly talk. We'll do some background music in a little bit. But yeah, how is everyone? How was everyone's 4th of July? We don't celebrate 4th of July here in Thailand, but I did see so many people's like photos, videos, and like just posts of having good time. Lots of people having barbecues. Okay. All right. Lo-fi study, yeah. We should put some lo-fi study on. But yeah, this is what I get when I look up currency debasement. But I don't know if I really want like a very, maybe Venezuela. How do you spell Venezuela, guys? Currency crisis. Here we go. So maybe we start off with a very quick crash course on what happened and the collapse of Venezuela. It was just 7 years ago. Okay. Wait, can you guys hear the video? How do I... Sorry, let me just check whether or not people can actually hear me. How do I find out? Try to join my own live. Open live. Hello, hello. Try to join my own live. Wait. Open live. Hello, hello. Try to join my own live. Wait. Oh, you can't hear the video. How do we fix that? Okay. What if we do a non-video study? We can read. My gosh, even harder. So the main aim, I'll figure out this for next time and we can like watch videos together. But maybe best teacher is ChatGPT. Let me grab that up for you guys. So regardless of whether or not this stream is going to be entertaining, my aim is to actually learn. So I'll just do a study plan where I actually learn and then maybe play lo-fi. Let me figure out a lo-fi situation. Actually, maybe on here, StreamYard, I think you can. Maybe play lo-fi from here. Anyone hear the lo-fi music thing? Okay, so this is our current study plan. For the next hour, we're going to start off first 10 minutes with definitions and understanding what is currency debasement. Okay, Roman Empire, from gold to silver contents in court. I think I did a video on that a while ago, episode 3 of the 10 things I've learned about money. So I kind of have an idea, an understanding of that. Printing money without backing up. Oh, there's even content I can read. Oh, and there are videos. Guys, ChatGPT came in clutch. Okay, we'll start with the first one. Even though the page is not found. Again. This is definitely So we're gonna read this up a little bit. Currency debasement refers to the lowering of the value of a currency. It is primarily associated with coins made from precious metals such as gold and silver. A currency is debased when coins are mixed with a mixture of precious metals and metals as opposed to precious. Just when the content of the coin is no longer what it's supposed to be. So when it's supposed to be gold and then you mix it with a lot of copper or all these other metals, then it's less valuable than what it was supposed to be. That's pretty much it. So what are the results of that? So the face of the coin is mixed and it decreases its intrinsic value. Okay, we get that. Historical examples, there we go. I think that's what we're looking for. Which you guys cannot hear. Fix that. I think we can fix that for sure. The voice is drowned out by the music now. So you guys gotta listen awkwardly to me trying to figure out how to study with people watching me. Because normally, I'm just gonna say, when I normally study, I don't listen to music. I literally just no sound. Some people, they listen to like classical music or lo-fi or whatever. I actually can't do that because my mind just thinks too much. So I have to read and listen to my own voice in my head as I read. But okay. I think the idea of currency debasement is pretty much understandable. Like, okay, it's not as valuable as it used to be. But I think what I want to do is understand historical examples outside of ancient Rome, more recent. So that's why, okay, M2 money supply. So I think we will ask a case study of a very recent currency debasement situation. Cool. It's very interesting that there's a lot of YouTube guys here. Thank you guys for watching. What is this? Oh, someone sent a link. How to fix? Is it how to fix the voice? We'll do that next time. We're already like 14 minutes in. This video talks. Oh, is it? Oh, it talks about Venezuela. Let me see. This one. Unfortunately, I cannot click on that right now because we can't listen to it. So we'll do it this way. Next time, I will figure out how you guys can watch with me. But today is our first try. Okay, you're not going to be perfect first time. So this is the most recent currency, real world case study of a most recent currency debasement, Venezuela. What's happening? How do I say that? The Bolivar has collapsed, losing 60% of its official value since ending fixed rate controls in 20. Oh, wow, that's really recent. Okay, inflation skyrocketed 51% in October 2024 to 229%. Okay. Monetary printing to. I kind of want to have a little bit of sound. Very low. Like a super low sound. Monetary printing. Oh, the situation is so bad. How can this country see. So there's okay. So the bottom line here for Venezuela is a textbook modern day example of displacement, excessive money printing, loss of dollar income, massive inflation, and currency collapse, social hardship. I think this has been a very obvious case study for a while now, but then there's also this Turkey. In March of 2025, the Turkish lira plunged 11 to 12% following the arrest of Istanbul's mayor and political instability. The central bank intervened, selling 12 billion on top of earlier intervention in a rescue attempt. How does that work? Sorry if some people already know about this. I have no idea. So I'm learning. Accept please. So Turkey spent a record $12 billion defending Lara from Erdogan, right? Okay. Can I? Oh, this one doesn't have an account. Okay. The intervention was nearly 4 times larger than any previous such one. Is anyone from Turkey here and has like insight on this situation? I didn't even know this was happening. So the root cause. So the confidence drained by politics. The arrest triggered investor flight, damaging market trust. Currency intervention drained reserves from 2019 to 2020. What does this mean? Okay, let's look at this. So between these two, the triggers for Turkey was political unrest, market panic. So what does it mean? Yeah, what does a currency intervention mean? What does it mean to have? So a currency intervention is actions by a country's central bank or government to influence the exchange rate of its currency, usually to stop it from falling too fast or rising too fast. The most common type of intervention is to sell foreign reserves like US dollar or euros to buy your own currency. Oh, okay, I knew that. What does drained reserves mean? When a central bank intervenes too often or too heavily, it uses up its stockpile of foreign currency. So currency intervention drains meaning the central bank sold a lot of its foreign currency reserves, such as US dollar or gold, in order to buy back its own collapsing currency. And now those reserves are dangerously low or even negative. For example, the central bank of Turkey starts selling dollars from its reserves to buy lira to slow its collapse. But the public keeps dumping, forcing the central bank to sell more dollars to defend it. Eventually, the dollar reserves run low or run out. So, what is the big deal? Yeah, okay. So the big deal here is the country can no longer defend its currency will continue to fall. Imports get more expensive, especially food, fuel, medicine. The currency collapse, inflation, or even hyperinflation. Investors and citizens lose trust. Capital fight and black markets, dollarization. Turkey's central bank sold over 200 billion US dollars from 2019 to 2024 to prop up Lara. By 2025, net reserves went negative. You can go negative? And Lara collapsed again after political shock. This loss of reserves left Turkey vulnerable to debasement and inflation. Wait, how did they go negative? Did they borrow money? How can a country go into negative reserves? I feel like we're just going to focus on Turkey because Turkey seems to be more of a recent situation rather than Venezuela, where most people have already seen the downfall and what's happened to it, like crime and everything. So, what does it mean to have a negative reserve? Okay, normally foreign exchange reserves are assets a central bank holds. Okay, US dollar, blah, blah. Okay, this one, case study, Turkey. Use currency swaps in local bank, borrowed money. So, as of mid 2025, that's this year, Turkey's net reserves reportedly hit negative 50 billion. Oh, negative 50 billion? Are you guys, Turkey, are you okay? Turkey owes 50 billion more than it actually has in liquid foreign assets. This doesn't sound very good. Okay, massive political instability, high inflation, 40%. Okay, eroding local trust in Lara. Constant pressure on Lara. What is this right now? Okay. So for people, I think most people who are watching, you guys kind of understand. Oh. Like you guys kind of understand what debasement is, right? But I think for anyone who is still trying to understand, like, because I've talked to so many people, like you guys don't even know the amount of people I've spoken to, and they don't understand why inflation matters, because as inflation increases, their pay supposedly also increases, not at the same rate, obviously, but for them, it's just more like, okay, this is just a reality of how life is. We just have to deal with it and hopefully get paid more. Because I remember back when I was in school, a normal salary, and this is in Australia, so like a acceptable normal salary would be like 70K, 80K. Like that's really high, right? Like the lower end would be like 40K or something. But then now everyone's just shooting for 100K as like average. Like you need to have a minimum of 100K annual salary, otherwise you're going to be like living like really badly. Hello everyone. Hi Hassan. Thanks for joining. But yeah, anyways, we were talking about how like just the normal fact of normies, like just normal people who are not really caring whether or not inflation happens, maybe because you live in an affluent country that doesn't really get affected by it. But as we can see here, in countries around the world, they struggle really badly with the potential threat of a currency debasement. So this fear of, actually having your dollar collapse is not as hypothetical as you would think it is, because we are seeing, okay, maybe I should do like this. Yeah. So you guys can see the full screen. Or is this better? Maybe like this. Is this better? Maybe. We'll do it this way. But yeah, this is a 5-year chart of what has happened to the Turkish lira to the US dollar. So this isn't obvious to anyone, right? Max, we go max. It's just, this is a bad chart. And they can't even, like, how do they fix it? So let's ask, right? Why negative reserves are dangerous? Well, obviously because it's negative. Previous way was better. Okay, thank you. Thank you, CL. Okay, this way. Okay, why are negative reserves dangerous? Obviously, can't import critical goods, can't pay off foreign debt. So who's letting them borrow this money? How did they get into the reserves? Who gave them the debt? Who lent Turkey the money and why they slipped into negative reserves reveal a lot about how modern central banks operate under pressure. Okay, who lent? The main source of Turkey's foreign currency borrowing is local banks. Okay, so the Central Bank of Republic of Turkey borrowed US dollar and euros from Turkish commercial banks through short-term currency swaps. Huh? Current Turkish banks lend dollars to the central bank. The central bank gives them lira in exchange with a promise to return the US dollar later. These swaps are short-term and must be rolled over consistently. But how are they going to get the money back to pay these people? Or like these banks? Do you know what I mean? I think after this, I need to talk to someone from Turkey to try and understand. Let me send out a tweet. Does anyone have any insight on the Turkish currency debasement? Does anyone have any insight on the current Turkey currency debasement? Guys, the power cut off. Are you joking? Wait one sec. I'll open the curtains one sec. Okay, the power cut off, guys. And now I only have one screen left. But I just saw like this tweet. So it says, at Elon, will America Party embrace Bitcoin? And then Elon says, fiat is hopeless, so yes. Chat, is this real? But yeah, okay. Oh, electricity's back. BRB. Let me. Okay, guys, I'm back. The electricity. Oh, audio working now? Hassan, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me again? Sorry, that's so funny. Like, I was just like, why did suddenly everything turn off? And then I realized electricity is gone, and then now I'm on my hotspot. Okay, I'll just leave it on hotspot for now. But yeah, okay, news update break. So Elon's stacking. Okay. I know a few people on X who have this theory that Elon is actually a Satoshi, but I actually don't think that. Anyone who wants to debate me on that, I don't actually have a debate. I just don't. The intuition says no. But hey, go back to Turkey. And maybe at the last 10 minutes, we go through news. And then next week, or like the next time I go live, first 10 minutes, we go through news and then we study. But yeah, okay. Today we want to get to the bottom of Turkey's situation, which I'm still shocked. Okay, so right now, people are lending money. Okay. Oh, again! What's going on? Guys, I live in a third world country apparently. But at least the internet did not cut off. Hassan, you're right. He can't be Satoshi because in 2008 to 2012, he was full on Tesla and SpaceX. It's a ghost stream. Oh my god. Do I do this again? Okay, there is light. But now we don't have a second screen. But okay, we'll do some sort of phone study in this case. Guys, everything is against me right now. They don't want me to know. Wait, let me check. How is Turkey planning to pay back local banks for the debt that they have borrowed? Or maybe they don't plan to pay back. Oh, so recent reports indicate that the Turkish government is encouraging or even instructing local banks to purchase more government-issued bonds during domestic debt auctions to help. This helps state borrow more easily and spread funding burden across the banking sector. Maybe next week I have a teacher come on. But sounds not great. Okay. Turkey is asking local banks to buy their bonds. Purchase government bonds. Oopsies. Is this a good idea? It's not. What's happening? As a desperate but not uncommon move, it can buy time, but it carries serious risk if done too aggressively. The Turkish government is reportedly asking or pressuring local banks to buy government bonds, especially long-term bonds, to help finance deficits, control yields, and refinance maturing debt. This is a classic case of financial repression when the government leans on domestic banks to absorb public debt, usually because foreign investors won't touch it anymore. Yeah. Okay, why would they do this? To keep interest rates artificially low. If local banks buy the bond, it props up demand, bond prices stay high, yield borrowing costs stay low, finances budget deficits. If no one else wants to lend to Turkey, local banks are the last resort. buys time and prevents a crisis. Okay, what are the serious long-term implications? If banks are forced to hold more government bonds, they lend less to businesses and consumers, a economic stagnation, obviously. Hidden nationalization of the banking system. Banks become tools of state policy, not independent institutions. Trust erodes. Investors may flee the banking sector. Doom loop risk. Bank loads up on risky government bonds. If the government defaults or inflation spikes, banks suffer huge losses. So this already happened in Argentina, Greece, and Japan. So Argentina forced banks to buy peso bonds, resulting in hyperinflation and bond collapse. Greece, banks held too many government bonds. When Greece defaulted, banks collapsed too. In Japan, banks loaded up on government bonds, but Japan had low inflation and strong export base, not comparable to Turkey. I think Japan also has some sort of issues, right? Wait, I will be right back, guys. I need to get a drink of water. I'm back. How are there like how are there like 500 people watching? How are there Where'd you guys come from? Is this all YouTube or Twitter? I think mostly Twitter. So many people at this time. Wait, okay, let's do a quick Q&A. What time is it for you guys? And also, what countries are you guys from? And is your country prone to a potential currency debasement? Maybe I should put up a poll. How do I poll? Okay, I'll put up a banner. Create a banner. Scroll across. Yay, I made a banner. Canada, Vancouver, yes. Oh, 7:30. Nice. Toronto. So there's a debate going on. So one person says yes, Canada might have a currency debasement. Someone else says Canada is okay for now. But wish they added Bitcoin. Canada sold all of its gold? What? When? Why? Why did they do that? Let me ask. He said the last part. What? Canada sold the last part of its gold holdings in February, according. Wait, why did they do? Wait, this is 2016. So what? Do they not hold gold anymore? What? The actual? Who knew this? What the heck? Canada sold the last part of its gold holdings in. Wait, that can't. So does Canada not hold any gold? What? Canada holds 0 gold reserves? What reserves do they have? Foreign exchange? US dollar. So it's completely dependent on the US's ability to continue to have a good currency. You're kidding. Who is the head of their monetary policy? This is so dangerous. Like, even okay, that's so wild. Like, how? Why would you do that? They have zero understanding of what is hard money. Yeah. So someone see, I was like, that's wild, especially considering gold has doubled in the last few years. Yeah, and then the US dollar has literally, okay, this is Canada's reserve right now, USD to gold. It's even crazier to Bitcoin, but we'll do gold because that's the most standard way. Full chart. Oh wait, how long? All time. Is this gold against US dollar? Okay, so this is gold against US dollar. So obviously gold has appreciated so much over the last few years, and Canada sold gold, all its gold here, I think, to 2016, right? Worst trade in history. Gold to US, and then if we do US dollar to Bitcoin. Wow. Look at this. What is this? Is this right? Is this right? So it says US dollar to Bitcoin. How about Canada? Let's find Canada. But I think it's kind of unfair. If you compare any currency at all in the entire world to Bitcoin, the chart looks like this. So it's a little bit like, is it unfair or is it the reality of the situation? But anyways, I did not know that Canada literally sold all its gold. Okay, what other countries? Yeah, lots of Canadian talent moves to the US. I think that's pretty much like how it works, right? Like if you're smart, you go work in Silicon Valley or something. Let me fix this light. Also, if you guys notice, the crack in my wall is still there. My landlord hasn't been very active trying to fix it because they're like, oh, there's no what's it called, structural problem. But I'm like, guys, can you see how thick that crack is? I don't know, seems structural to me. But anyways, Canada, as you know, sold off all its remaining gold reserves in the 2000s. So not even, okay, yeah, 2000s. Okay, so not even 2016. Oh, started in the 2000s and the last selling was in 2016. Norway sold its gold in 2004, retaining only a small museum allocation, a few bars, and it's not counted as reserve. Norway. What country has the most gold? Ooh. Is this type of information like public? Also, this is also crazy. A drama teacher led Canada for 10 years until a few months ago. That's crazy. So, top countries with the most gold reserves. US dollar, Germany. I reckon China has more than that, but they're just hiding it. I don't know. I don't know how accurate information on the internet is about China. China's way more like locked in terms of gold than that, because every Chinese person I've ever spoken to is like a gold maxi. So is Canada just banking on the fact that the US has all this gold, which is not verifiable, by the way? Like, how do we know? Who's gonna tell us that this is true? How about Bitcoin reserve? Bitcoin. Yep. Hazan says, my prediction is that a country like Pakistan will print their currency just to buy a bunch of Bitcoin and base their currency on it. Well, isn't Michael Saylor their advisor? So he says the country that first prints its money and buys Bitcoin wins, right? So if he is advising them to do that, then they might actually win. So El Salvador is the first country to officially adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Of course, we know that. The government has purchased Bitcoin directly and holds it on its balance sheet as part of its treasury. Yes. Ukraine. Oh, okay. During the 2022 war, Ukraine accepted Bitcoin currency. But is it really part of the strategic reserve? It's primarily donation based. Yeah, it's more of like a donation based reserve, right? Not something that the government is actively buying. USA, the US government has seized large quantities of Bitcoin from criminal investigations, notably the Silk Road case. That's why he let him go, right? While these Bitcoins are technically government held, they're usually auctioned off, but they are reserved now. I think this is like old news, ChatGPT. Oh, okay. Last 10 minutes. We will look at the news. So give me 1 second. I will. Honestly, this stream has been a little bit all over the place, guys, and also I had 2 power outages. So sorry. But I think I will have a better idea of what comes next time. So my plan for the next stream will be something along the lines of first 10 minutes, I talk about Bitcoin news and what's going on in Bitcoin right now. Oop. And then, okay. And then I study a topic, but at least today, these are the learning topics that I learned today, which is I never knew that Turkey had a situation. I'm sorry for most people who did know, I did not know that. And then I also found out that Canada doesn't hold any gold, which is crazy, which is absolutely bonkers crazy. Are you guys okay? So Hassan has said many times now that it's been run by a drama teacher. We're going to fact check that in a bit. But okay, Bitcoin news. What has been going on in Bitcoin lately? So I actually had a quick run through of this, and I had one of the news that I don't know if it's in here, but apparently, okay, it's not here, but okay. Ledger. So I do have the link. Let me show you. This is something everyone should probably know. If I didn't look at the news the other day, I would not have known this either. Which if you own or have any of your Bitcoin in a Ledger Nano S, this type, which I know a lot of people do, you need to get it out ASAP. Like they announced that, like they're not going to be continually supporting the Nano S anymore. So if you have any of your Bitcoin in cold storage in this model of the Ledger, please take it out and be careful. I think the situation is that because it is so small and doesn't have that much memory, it can't handle any upgrades. And also, exposure to phishing risk, data leaks. So Ledger is just not doing very well, guys. I feel like, because my first ever Bitcoin cold storage solution was a Ledger as well. Not the Nano S, it's like the other one, but it kind of looks like that one actually. But I already checked, mine's okay. But so I am considering moving to Tether like soon. But okay, we go back to the news. Is this an older week? Maybe this was from last week because I feel like I've seen this. Oh yeah, it is from last week. Whoopsie daisies. Sorry, let me open the new one. Where is my newsletter? Has there not been a newsletter for this week yet? Oh, I think this is it. Wait, what date is this? What's the date? I can't see my emails, but anyways. Who is the current Prime Minister of Canada? I'm so sorry. Not Thailand. I feel like currently no longer Trudeau. This is the new guy. "60 years old. What's his background? He's a Canadian politician and economist. Here's the thing that I feel. So some people. The guy that sold the gold. No way. Is this guy? Is this the man that sold Canada's gold? Okay, wait. We don't want to be spreading fake news. Let me ask chat. Wait, this one. We gotta fact check. Oh, he was part of the decision. Yes! He played a pivotal role in Canada's decision to sell off its gold reserves. Oh. Guys, I'm sorry to say, but Canada seems a little bit off. Not gonna lie. Okay. So the decision to sell Canada's gold reserve was made by the Department of Finance with oversight from the Bank of Canada. The rationale behind this policy was to move away from holding physical commodities like gold, which are less liquid and more costly to store, in favor of financial assets that are more easily tradable and have deeper markets. By 2016, Canada sold off nearly all of its gold reserves, leaving just 77 ounces, approximately $130,000. Why would you leave just that much? But anyways, if you want something that is completely liquid and able to be, sold better than US dollar, you should just buy Bitcoin. Like anyone who's making these decisions for the country, you are not even thinking logically at this point. He did not personally sell the gold. His role as governor of the Bank of Canada during this period means he was involved in yeah, he made the decision. Come on. Interesting. This is very interesting. Wow. I learned something I didn't think I was gonna learn today. I honestly came in here, I was like, oh, we talked about Venezuela, and then we barely talked about Venezuela. We talked about Turkey mostly, and then now Canada, in my mind, is proxy US state 51 or something like that. Because you guys are pretty much just a US nation. You don't have any gold of your own. Don't cancel me. I'm just like, I'm learning. This is all new information to me, guys. I never knew any of this before. If any of this is wrong, please comment. But the only people who are commenting and telling me the information are people who are telling me this stuff. So if you want to correct me on Canada monetary policy, please do. Okay, let's scroll through X together for a little bit. Oops. Ah. Why? How? There's so many people watching. Like, are you guys all real? Because I'm only talking to like 3 people. And the 3 people I'm talking to, you guys made this stream so much better because now it doesn't feel like I'm just constantly talking to myself. But anyways, what are we doing? Okay, we're gonna scroll together and see what my Twitter looks like. If you want to get a follow, this is your chance. I will be live following people. Oh, hello, Cuddy. Okay, we're not gonna do that right now. Okay, T-minus 70 days until Elon Musk is a Bitcoin maxi. I think we already know that he is one, right? So this was the tweet I was talking about before the lights went off. Yeah, is it bots? But I haven't bought any bots, so could be just like random bots, but we'll see. The America Party is the solution. I get these weird ads. Does anyone get these weird ads? Okay, we're not. Okay, we were gonna go to the news. Sorry. Okay. So I actually like Bitcoin news partly because I'm friends with Rob, but also because he makes videos. Like all the other news channels, they don't make like short form videos, and I follow them on both TikTok and Instagram. Sometimes I'll like watch their videos and stuff. Much more engaging. So let's find one news article that seems interesting and talk about it for the last 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna go get ready to go to do some work. Oh yeah, I saw this news actually. Did anyone else see this? One of the wildest events in Bitcoin history, a long dormant Bitcoin whale moved 80,000 Bitcoin worth approximately 8.6 billion on the 4th of July. The wallets involved had been inactive since 2011, sending shockwaves of speculation, curiosity, and concerns across Bitcoin space. So if someone sold 80,000 Bitcoin, what would that actually do? Oh, okay. So people asked, okay, wait. We'll answer this question, and I also, before I end the call, I will tell the story of how. So this person asked, how do I have to try this? This person asked, how did I get the Feng Li interview? So we will talk about. So I'll just quickly find out so that we don't get hanging. If someone like what percent? Obviously, other people will sell it. That's just like silly. You guys just following because someone wants to take profit after like literally making $8 billion. That's okay. Obviously, okay. Price drop, but how many percent? It could cause a panic sell from other people, but so it could be absorbed smoothly. So if people don't just panic, then it should be fine, right? Anyone else can tell me. But okay, we go story time. So story time of this. How did I get the interview? So I think a lot of people may or may not know. Actually, I don't want to assume. So I started making content in May. So before that, I was kind of like just joining Gladiator and LA Dojo's space from here to there. Like I joined like maybe 2 or 3 times. And when I went to Strategy World, so I've always planned to go to Strategy World because in August of last year, so September, September, around that time of last year, I decided to sell all of any other tech stock or any other like thing that I was holding, like in terms of crypto. So before I held like Ethereum and Solana, like a normal pleb, you know what I mean? Like you just like buy all the stuff and not actually fully understanding that, oh, there is no point diversifying, just buy Bitcoin. But then I watched so many hours of Saylor talking about Bitcoin being best asset. And then I was like, you know what? I am convinced. So I bought everything, put everything into Bitcoin and MSTR at the time, which I think was very good timing. And then because of that and how MSTR did so well, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Strategy World and kind of like meet all these people. Right. So when I was there, I didn't know anyone. I knew one person, which was like my friend, LA Dojo. We actually work in AI. He does a lot of like artist stuff, but what's my X handle? My X handle is Professor B21, but this person asked. But anyways, yeah. So he kind of like was my only friend there, and he somewhat was popular because he made portraits of Michael Saylor, right? So I was just standing there, like no one wants to talk to me, no one knows who I am. Like I'm just like this random girl who like people assume don't even understand Bitcoin. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the best out of the situation and come up with how I can talk to everyone. So I came up with these 3 questions. Who are you? What brought you to Strategy World? And what's one thing about Bitcoin you want everyone to know? And I interviewed as many people as I could. I probably made like close to 50 videos about that conference. So I made daily vlogs of like, okay, this is what I did. What does this conference look like? I post videos of like, okay, this is what the conference hall looks like. I was live tweeting. I was posting everything. Like honestly, I was one of the most active content creators during that conference, which got me noticed by the team. So many people from how I got the I'm just gonna put that as a panel. Ooh. Yeah. So one sec. How do I edit this? But anyways, so even the staff were coming up to me and they were like, oh, I love your vlogs, I love your videos, it's so fun. And then I made a few videos explaining like some concepts that Michael Saylor was talking about on stage. And then Feng Li, after his speech, I went up to him and I was like, this was after I've already made like 20 videos or something. Like I was like halfway through my my content spree, and then Feng was like, hey, I saw your videos, really good. And then I asked him, hey, can I interview you and do like the short short form interview, which then I did. Which then I did, and then I texted him the video after. I sent the link to him and was like, "Hey, thank you." And I was like, "Will you be? I will be at Strategy World next week, not Strategy World, Strategy headquarters." So I was planning to go to DC to do a tour of Strategy headquarters anyway. And then I was like, "If you're free for 30 minutes, could you please sit down with us and just like talk?" So that's how I got the interview. I went so full throttle, did as many videos as I could, and yeah, that's I think the main lesson from that was, if you wanna seize the moment and do as much as you can, and try to get noticed by people, you got to first put out effort and become something of value first before you just like go on and ask people for things. Like that's how I always operate. Like I don't just like blankly ask people, can I do this, can I do that, until I can prove myself that there is some sort of value that I can also give in the situation, which in that case was, I produced a lot of free content and also a lot of interesting content for the conference itself, and also for the people who are attending the conference. So yeah, that's kind of the start of my content creation journey. And because of that, I got to interview Fong, and then I went to New York, and then I interviewed Tim Kotzman. And within the same what's it called, studio as Tim was Anthony Pompliano. I was like, Tim was so kind. He was like, "Hey, you gotta shoot your shot and go ask if you can interview Anthony." And I was like, "No way, you think he'll have time?" And I was so like shy about it. So I was like, "Okay, Anthony, can I have like 5 minutes of your time?" So he was so nice, and he gave me like we sat down, we did probably like a 10-minute interview, and also did one of those short videos that I did, because in my mind I was like, "Oh, as long as I get even the short video, I would be happy." But then he just sat down and did the video. So that's what I'm editing and working on this week, is the Tim Kotzman interview and the Anthony Pompliano short mini interview. Yeah, but that was fun. I think we are coming up to an hour. So for next week, what I will do is oh, actually, guys, I'm going to move over to Gladiator's Bitcoin MSTR God Candle loading space after this. But yeah, for next week, I think this is going to be our new format. I'm going to figure out how we can watch videos together. So we're going to start off with a bit of a Bitcoin news roundup. We're going to start watching some videos together, and I will post beforehand what topic I want to study, and then get people to recommend stuff. I think for this week, I did learn quite a lot about Turkey and Canada. I'm going to continue to look into this Canada situation, because I literally had no idea. Like, most people really don't think about Canada that much. I don't know. Maybe just me. I'm on the other side of the world, so I really don't think about Canada that much. I always lump Canada in with US, so it's kind of like that situation. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and for engaging and commenting. I also noticed that sometimes when I'm answering a comment, I didn't put it on the screen. So some people might be confused who I'm responding to. So next time I will try and be better in that way. But yeah, I think this space is recorded. Hopefully it's recorded. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'll probably do another one sometime this week. So bye-bye. Bye. Let me say bye. Bye. Outro.